Dear Daily News Report viewers, after watching this video, you can find previous videos by clicking on the top right button. We recommend watching, subscribing, and sharing. Thanks in advance.
The underground bunker business is booming as global events spiral out of control. This is a really good time to sell underground bunkers. Concerns about the COVID-19 epidemic, civil unrest, and what else could happen in the major cities of the United States came together to create a tremendous amount of demand for survival properties. I've never seen anything like this throughout my podcasts. I suddenly heard from so many people who felt a great urgency to prepare for the complete collapse of society. And a few of them moved recently or are planning to do so in the near future. For some, going out of the country seems to be the best option. But for most, the goal is to find a way to get rid of the future chaos in the United States. Of course, many people still depend on their large population centers with their jobs. And a survival refuge is an attractive option, many of which individuals can find out if something is getting crazy enough. A company in South Dakota established the largest survival community in the world, and the New York Post recently interviewed a 69-year-old man named Tom Soulsby who bought one of the first underground bunkers in this community. Tom Soulsby, 69, and his wife Mary were one of the first to buy a bunker at Vivos X Point, the self-proclaimed largest survival community on Earth, near the South Dakota town of Edgemont. In 2017, he made $25,000 down payment and signed a 99-year land lease with fees of $1,000 per year to occupy an elliptical-shaped 2,200 square foot underground concrete bunker, once used as a military fortress during World War II to store weapons and ammunition. For a while, sales have not been very fast, but then it was 2020, and at this point, the sales of the underground bunker in Vivos X Point over 600%. When Soulsby signed on the dotted line, he was one of a handful of new owners, but in 2020, Vivos X Point has become hotly sought after real estate. The price has jumped to $35,000, says Robert Vecino, the California developer and CEO of the Vivos Group, which launched in 2008, and bunker sales are up over 600%. 500 bunkers are still available, but Vecino tells the Post they are currently selling about one bunker a day. It's a good time to be in the bunker business, or as Garrett has dubbed them, dread merchants. There are around 3.7 million Americans prepping today on some scale, feeding a multi-billion-dollar a year industry that has become more mainstream because of the pandemic. I expect a quarter of the country to be prepping on some level by the end of the year, Garrett tells the Post. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, Cold War tensions and nuclear war anxiety caused more than 200,000 Americans to invest in fallout shelters. But it was a passing fad, and the new wave of bunker owners are not just driven by fears of nuclear annihilation. I really admire what they are trying to do, and I'm sure that having important news stories about your community helps sales. But when things really hit fans, it will also make the community a target. Another project with many titles is the Survival Condo in central Kansas. It was completely designed to survive underground and in a nuclear war. The Survival Condo has a lot of hallmarks of your standard fallout shelter. It's underground, 200 feet underground, in the middle of rural Kansas, 200 miles from Kansas City. It was built during the Cold War as a nuclear missile launch facility. It's also being retrofitted with 9-foot thick reinforced concrete walls designed to survive everything from tornadoes to 12-kiloton nuclear warheads dropping half a mile away. This converted nuclear silo has been described as an underground skyscraper, and this is how author Bradley Garrett described his visit to level 11. On level 11 of the survival condo, about 50 meters underground, Hall and I visit 1,800 square feet home. I have had the same feeling as walking into a bedroom in a hotel chain. The apartment has never been used. It has a Navajo print rug, a cushy white sofa set, and a stone electric fireplace with a flat panel TV over it. A marble countertop extends to a bar separating the living room from the kitchen, which is filled with high-end appliances. It sounds good, but the units are not cheap. In fact, prices start more than $1 million. Half-floor apartments here are $1.5 million. Full-floor apartments $3 million. And a 2-level, 3,600 square feet penthouse has sold for $4.5 million. In total, 57 people will be living in 12 apartments, each paying an additional $5,000 a month in residence association fees. One apartment bought with cash is designed to feel like a log cabin, with a loft looking down on a fake fireplace flanked by a 6-screen display of a snow-capped mountain range. The company which sells the units insists that the location is top secret, but in this case it is probably not a good idea to let journalists walk around a facility with a crew of film. In any case, only the ultra-rich will live there, because most Americans could never have dreamed of making such a detailed mistake. But we all have to do our best to be prepared for the tough years ahead, because things are really about to go crazy. We truly live in unprecedented times, and what we have experienced so far is just the beginning. As global events get out of control, most elites will turn to underground bunkers, and some are already there. As coronavirus infections tore across the US in early March, a Silicon Valley executive called the survival shelter manufacturer Rising as Co. He wanted to know how to open the secret door to his multi-million-dollar bunker 11 feet underground in New Zealand. The tech chief had never used the bunker and couldn't remember how to unlock it, said Gary Lynch, general manager of Texas-based Rising as Co., who wanted to verify the combination for the door and was asking questions about the power and the hot water heater and whether he needed to take extra water or air filters, Lynch said. The businessman runs a company in the Bay Area but lives in New York, which was fast becoming the world's coronavirus epicenter. It must be nice to have a luxurious underground bunker in New Zealand. Unfortunately, most Americans will have to deal with whatever is currently in their place. But whether or not you have an underground bunker, the truth is that hard times are coming for all of us, and there is no money to change that.
Dear Daily News Report viewers, you can find other videos by clicking on the top right button. We recommend watching, subscribing, and sharing. Thanks in advance.
Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.